Welcome to Current Chatter, the place where we dive into the latest news and happenings going on around the world. Join mother and son duo Kota and Losa as they engage in lively debates over current affairs and anything else that sparks a discussion. With diverse perspectives and a bit of fun, you never know what topics will come up next. Tune in every Friday afternoon for your weekly dose of Current Chatter.
What's going on, my beautiful people? It is that time of the week again. It is time for some current chatter. As always, I'm here with Mama. Mama, how you doing today?
Well, I'm doing good, Dakota, besides the fact that I had surgery on my wrist on Friday. I'm recovering from that really well, so I'm following the instructions that the doctor gave me, so we're just going to calmly sit and not pound our hand on anything. Oh, and I've got an ice pack on it.
Nice. Good.
Nice.
I'm glad you're doing A-okay.
Yep.
Looks like you've got some mobility back in your fingers, too.
Yep, a lot more, and it actually feels better than it did before surgery, like the tingling and numbness.
Yeah.
So she's like, that'll fix it, and I didn't have a lot of faith in it, but it looks like it is fixing it, so that's good.
I'm glad. No malpractices? They didn't take the wrong organ out of you?
Nope, but I did make sure that they were working on the right hand. The correct left hand, not the right hand, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Did you leave a note saying we've tried to contact you about your car's extended warranty?
I was awake the whole time. I didn't want to.
Oh, shit. You were awake for that?
Yeah, I was awake.
No. So you got to watch them cut you open?
I didn't watch. I turned and looked when she said she was all done, and it was just a bloody mess. And I was like, oh, looks like they tried to chop my wrist off.
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Yep, they just do it in the office now. It's crazy.
That is wild. So earlier this week, Mom asked me to check out this movie called Apex, and I had no idea what I was getting myself into. It's on Netflix. I think it came out this year, right?
Yeah, it just came out last week.
Okay, so I went into it totally blind, not knowing anything, and within, I don't know, the first 2 minutes, they're in a tent on the side of a hill.
Side of a mountain, not a hill.
Yeah, the mountain. It's called Troll Mountain or something in Switzerland, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
But it's about a thrill-seeking woman, and it's played by
Charlize Theron.
Yeah, and I forgot how much of a badass she is.
She's a badass. I have to agree with you there. So
What
this
his
is
name
going to
was.
have spoilers, just so anybody knows. We need to make sure that we tell people that before we start delving in that 99% of our stuff will have spoilers, so just be prepared.
Yeah. So they're climbing this mountain, and she's trying to get up over this one lip, and it's super hard, and she keeps falling. And I can't imagine the kind of trust I have to have in ropes and other people's ability to, like, tie
Keep
knots.
you alive.
and it's like they're completely vertical. Like they're hundreds of feet in the air. It is wild. But she just kept falling, and her partner was like, okay, let's call it a night. Like, we can't do this anymore. And then a storm comes through. So they decide to climb down the mountain. And as they're climbing down the mountain, he gets hit by falling rock and falls. And Sasha, that's the character's name, Sasha is holding on to the rope that he's attached to, and she forgot to tie a certain knot to keep him alive. But the extra weight of her plus him on their rigging system is starting to loosen and has the ability to kill them both. So she holds on as long as possible before she's like, I can't hold on any longer, and lets him
Drops
go.
him.
Because she didn't even know if he was alive or dead at this point, because when the rock hit him, he was unconscious and wasn't moving, and he's just dead weight. And then she lets him go, and that's how the movie starts.
Have you seen that Sylvester Stallone movie? I think it's like called Climb or something like that. It starts the same way.
I don't think I've seen that.
Yeah. But the thing with Apex is it really reminded me, have you ever seen Deliverance?
Yes.
It's
That
very
was-
Deliverance-esque.
Yeah, but set in Australia.
Yes,
for sure.
set in Australia.
But they're-
I didn't know Australia had such green, luscious...
Yeah, Australia has all sorts of different climates. It's a huge continent, you know what I mean? Like, it's gorgeous. I can't wait to go. I can't fucking wait to go to Australia. But I was really happy to see that they went into the more foresty parts of Australia, because a lot of people like you, they just think the red sands and the deserts.
Right. I just thought it was desert and like an island, and I didn't know that it had like forests and stuff like that. That just kind of shocked me.
Obviously, because it's like do we die together or do I keep on living? Like, that is like, I don't know what I would do in that moment. I don't know if I could have let him go. I don't know.
right?
I don't know if I could have let him go.
I don't know. Your inner person to want to stay alive would be
Screaming.
yes, yeah,
It's part of the reason people can't drown themselves when they unsubscribe from life, because your fight or flight kicks in so viciously when you're drowning that you fight everything off to come back up to the surface. Your body just naturally does that.
huh? I didn't know that.
It's also the same reason you can't bite off your finger, even though they say it's like biting into a carrot. You can't do it. Your brain will not let you do it. It's like it's a mortality thing or whatever. But it cuts to 6 months later, and she's still a thrill seeker, but she stays away from mountains. And now her big thing is rafting. And I've never been rafting, but it's
a
looks
lot of
awesome.
fun. I've been whitewater rafting before. It's quite a bit of fun, but it's not something that you want to do. I personally don't want to do it alone because there's areas, of every rafting trip that are dangerous.
Yes, definitely. So she runs into this gas station, and there's this gentleman there filling up his jerky. He sells jerky out of the convenience store. And then there's some hunters that kind of rough up Sasha a little bit. They're kind of just being gross, just like men, trying to act nice, but they're coming off real creepy. And
Right.
the dude selling jerky stands up for Sasha and is like, "Hey guys, I think she's good. Leave her be." Sasha's like, "Yeah, no, I didn't need your help, but thanks anyways, I guess." And she goes to pump her gas and ends up asking the jerky guy
His
whether
name
or
is
not.
Ben.
Yes, his name is Ben. She asks him whether or not he can show her where to go, and he says, "Well, do you want the easy way or do you want the hard way?" And of course, she just says, "I just want to get out of here. Where should I go?" So he shows her on part of the map she has a good spot to start on her whitewater rafting. So she goes, she starts in on her whitewater rafting. She finds a spot after rafting for a little while and makes camp and hangs up some of her gear and then goes to bed for the night. And she wakes up to this awful noise. And the noise was just like, I'm going to try to make it, and I'll tone it down a little bit, but it was like a caw type of thing. But it was like
Right.
more animalistic than that. And it wakes
Mhm.
her up, and she goes and sees that her gear has all been taken. So she's like, "Oh, well, shit, that sucks." And it's got like her phone and her bear mace and
Her backpack,
her
just her backpack,
her
and her
backpack.
clothes.
Yeah, all of her supplies. So she's like, "Well, I guess I'm just going to continue down the river and see what happens. I don't know why you wouldn't just turn back." Which, the other thing, what happens
You
when you
can't
get to
turn
the end?
back because you're floating
Yeah,
downriver.
do you have to like walk your stuff all the way back up to your car? Like, how does that work when you're whitewater
Usually
rafting?
they
Like,
get a ride back, either back or to the starting point. Like I know at the Provo River here in Utah, they do rafting down the Provo River,
Mhm.
and you park down at the bottom and they'll bus you up to the top. That way you'll be back when you get down to the bottom, you'll have your car with you.
Yeah. So she comes up on this camp. This other person is also looks like they're rafting. So she just stops in, and it just so happens to be Ben. And he's like, "Lucky for you, I pack enough for 2 people. Let me feed you, and here's some water, and then you can be on your way." And there's just something off about Ben the whole time. He's kind of just questioning her all weird. And then he goes,
And it starts to, and this is at the point where the show gets a little creepy.
"Yeah." And he says, "You handled those hunters well." Oh, I forgot to mention that the hunters came back when she first made camp before she started on her whitewater rafting. And it turns out Ben had followed her to her campsite and watched her just in case, I say in case in quotations, if she needed something. And she's like, "Okay, Ben, this is really weird. I should go." And he's like, "No, wait, you don't want to forget your backpack." And then he tosses her backpack to her feet. And she's like, "This is fucking creepy." And then he brings out this stereo and starts playing this god-awful techno song. And he pulls out a crossbow, and he's like, "I'll give you till the end of this song to run, because I know you like danger, and you're a thrill seeker." And she kind of just sits and stares at him, and he just starts like, it reminded me of Buffalo Bill dancing.
Right?
So he does like a Buffalo Bill dance to this music, and he's like, "Are you gonna go?" And so she takes off, and he's just dancing around.
Well, he gives her a head start because he's going to hunt her with a crossbow. Now it's turned into a brutal survival game through the harsh terrain and traps of the wilderness that is
Australia.
Australia.
And he continues, like, hunting her, I would say about half of the movie, and then he starts making those crow noises again, and he is fucking crazy. Like, fucking
Like,
wild.
he played a really good scary guy.
He did. He's terrifying. Like, it was wild. That one scene, she's, like, in between two mountains, like, in a cove, and there's this rock that she's underneath. It's kind of like a ledge, and he's right above the ledge making, like, bird noises and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then she, like, waits a minute and then pops her head out and starts running again, and she, like, circles back around and comes back to his camp, but she's probably, I would say, couple 100 yards away from his camp, so she's looking through binoculars, and she can kind of hear him making bird noises, and then she happens to, like, find him in the brush, and he's staring right fucking at her, like he knows where she's at the whole time. Like, how does he know?
My thing was, I asked Dad, I said, do you think maybe he put a tracker on her? That never came out in the movie, but it was almost like he had a tracker on her. Because he just knew where she was all the time.
Yeah. So she's able to escape him for a little bit. And she decides, I need a kayak, because she had fallen into the water at some point. She'd hit the rapids pretty hard while she was trying to run from Ben in the first place. This is a horrible review. We're all over the place. So she goes to try and steal Ben's canoe, and his knots are pretty tight, so she can't untie the knots. So she tries to go to the dock, and right below where he has his boat tied up is a bear trap, and clamps her fucking ankle. Can you imagine that? Like, and she was able to mace him. He's like, oh, you're a fighter. I like you. You remind me of my mama. And he's got this weird complex with his mom the whole movie that just, like, I don't know if she touched him when he was a little boy or what.
He had mommy issues. He definitely had mommy issues.
Severe mama issues. Yeah, There's no way he would sit down and have a podcast with his mom. I don't know what she did to him.
He had some mommy issues, and those come out later on in the show as well.
Yeah. So he's able to capture her, and he ties her up, strings her up. Her hands are above her head in these awful handcuffs.
They're the ones that are so that you don't hurt yourself while you have them on.
She's tied up, and he's, like, in this little hut he's made, and it's at night while it's raining, and he just is kind of, like, sticking his finger in his mouth and touching his gums. And you can only see his face and his finger, and I can't remember what he said. And then he just kind of sinks back into the shadows, and it is the most terrifying thing I can think of. Like, just watching someone disappear into the shadows, but you know they're there fucking watching you. Like, it gave me the willies.
Yeah.
It was unsettling. So he takes her, he says, rituals are everything. People are nothing without their rituals. So he ties her to his boat and, like, basically just drags her down the river while he's in the boat nice and dry, and takes her to this, like, abandoned cave that he has set up to live in. And you find out
this is where he makes his jerky, and this is where everything is.
Spoiler alert, the jerky is not beef.
No. Well, it's meat. It's just not cow or pig or turkey.
It's not animal meat.
No, it's not.
Let's just say that. And it's I don't have anything to compare it to. It is like that scene in the Monster Ed Gein's story where you just see Mary Hogan's body just kind of, like, splayed open, and like bodies are hanging everywhere. It was fucking gnarly.
It was a little bit more. It was a little bit more than I was expecting to see on a Netflix movie.
Yeah, but it was good.
It was so terrifying. So then they get in this huge brawl, just an all-out.
Well, hold on. We forgot to talk about his teeth.
Oh, yes, he does take his teeth off.
So he says in some tribes, they will file their teeth down to points. And then he takes out his dentures, and all of his teeth are filed down to, like, shark teeth almost. Yeah. And you kind of get the idea that his mother made him go through this, and that's why he doesn't like her, but he, like, still loves the fuck out of her. It's weird as shit. So, yes, they get into this huge brawl, and...
Oh, and they fight each other. Like, it is a fight.
Yeah, she gets the upper hand a couple of times, and you're like, oh shit. So she ends up, like, getting out, but she still has these handcuffs on, and she jumps down this water tube tunnel thing, and he follows her, and he's able to grab onto the rope, and he's wearing a harness the whole time, like one of the mountain climber harnesses, and he like tethers the end of the rope that's attached to her arms to his harness. And they're flying through the whitewater rapids now, and they don't have anything to protect him, and he hits his head on a rock, and the rope gets tangled on a log. And I just was thinking,
This is it.
what are you going to do in this? Yeah, this is it. What are you going to do at this point? And she ends up untangling the both of them instead of just untangling herself and leaving him to fucking die, which I don't understand. So they both pop their heads out of water. Ben is still unconscious, and she goes and grabs this huge boulder and lifts it above her head and then like tries to go back into the water to smash his head in, but it's too deep and she just isn't tall enough to smash his head in. So she brings him in closer and goes to smash his head in, and he kind of wakes up, and then the fighting starts all over again.
Yeah.
And then she grabbed another boulder, and he's trying to get to a knife, I think. He had a knife at some point, and she smashes his leg, like just battery rams his leg with this boulder.
Yeah. It's just the craziest fight. And he's screaming, "You broke my leg! You broke my
fucking leg!" Yeah. So now Ben's incapacitated, and Sasha still is cuffed up, and she's like, we have to get to the top of this ridge or we're not going to make it. You're going to die from an infection because of your leg. And he's like, well, you can't climb up that mountain without me. It's a tandem climb. And she's like, yeah, you're right. So we have to trust each other and you have to let me go. And she says, I can rig up something that will help you come up the mountain without using your leg, your broken leg. You just use your good leg. So they start to climb. And he's given her his harness because that's the only way she can climb it properly is with the harness that she has on. And he bolts it in. He uses a long threaded bolt, and on the other end is a nut, and he threads it up so that it's not gonna come off or that she can't so like easily unclip him. So the whole time they're climbing up the mountain,
now they're tied together. They're tied to each other. So their survival now depends on each other, which is a really just juxtaposition to the whole show. You know, like they have to rely on each other eventually.
Yeah, and he's like, if you get me up here, I'll let you go. And she's like, okay, whatever. But the whole time they're climbing, she's secretly untwisting this bolt. And he catches her a couple of times and just yanks on her tether and makes her fall. But they're still tethered together, so she's not falling to her death or anything. It's just like a quick like pull, and you're kind of mid-falling in the air, and then you're caught by your tethering. And she's like, Ben, I'm not trying to do anything. We're good to go. And they get to this little ledge, and she ties a knot on like a branch or a root that's sticking out, and you can see the branch kind of start to give, and she notices it, and she's like, okay, this is my chance. So she quickly, with all her might, undoes that nut and bolt, and
you should hear Ben start screaming, "You're Sasha! We're supposed to do this together!"
So he has a very thick Australian accent, kind of mixed in with a British accent, and the way he says Sasha, just like I can't give it justice. It was just like it gives you the willies because I just don't understand. Yeah, his accent was weird, and the way he was saying her name just made me really uncomfortable. So as he's trying to yank her, as she's trying to take this nut bolt off of the harness, and she ends up like loosening it enough to where the harness just kind of slips off of her, and you watch the harness fall, and he's like, well, what now am I gonna do? And she's like, I don't know, and then just starts kicking the root that he's tied to. That's his lifeline, and he falls to his death. He's just done. Finally he's dead.
And you're like, are you sure he's dead? Are you sure?
Yeah. It was like one of those Michael Myers moments where you're like, do I need to drop a boulder on his head from up here? Like, what are we gonna do? But now she has no safety gear. She has no
She's
rope,
halfway up a cliff face,
no shoes on, and she's crawling up this mountain, and it gets to kind of a ledge that reminds you of the very beginning of the movie.
Very beginning.
And you're like, this bitch is done for because she has nothing. She's balls to the wall. And she's able to make it. And you're just like, oh my God. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically a quick synopsis of the movie. I loved it. I went on a Charlize Theron movie binge last night after I watched the Apex. I watched both of the old guard movies.
I haven't seen the second one. Is it good?
Oh, it's good. They have the gal from Kill Bill in it.
Mm-hmm.
The blonde girl, Uma Thurman.
Uma Thurman.
And they did not take the opportunity to give her a samurai sword.
You're
They
kidding.
gave her no. They gave her like one of those other old. You remember the When I was in karate, we did that one training with the sword that I was super excited about. It's kind of like oblong shaped.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the sword she fought with, and I just thought, why wouldn't you give her a katana? Like, why, out of all the things, you could have just paid Omen to kill Bill and give her a katana. But that's besides the point.
She's a good actress.
She is way good. I want to do the Huntsman next, where she's the bad guy. She's the evil witch.
She
Because
plays a good evil witch.
She
I've
does,
seen
she
The
does.
Huntsman, and it's really, really good.
We actually went and seen that in theaters when it came out.
Really?
You and I did.
We did?
Yeah, we did.
Good Lord.
But I would suggest anyone go watch Apex. I went into it not knowing at all what I was getting into. I didn't watch the trailer. I didn't read like the synopsis of it or like the what it is on Netflix. I just pressed play because Mom suggested it.
Let's do a 1 to 10, 10 being the best movie you ever seen. What would you rate this?
I would probably say a 6.5, 7.
See, that's what I was thinking too. It wasn't
Yeah,
like
it
the
was-
best. It was very, like I said, it was very, whatchamacall that movie that I said earlier,
Deliverance.
in that
Yes.
it like Deliverance has a guy with a crossbow and they're like going down the river before the river becomes a lake.
There is no sexual assault scene, so it's not
No, there's
quite
none
like
of those.
Deliverance.
Which, thank the Lord, because if they'd have put that in there, that would have just pushed me over the edge, I think.
Yeah, there are just some things that you don't need to have in there. But yeah, it was really good, and I thought the acting was very strong. It did leave me on the edge of my seat a little bit, a couple of times for sure. It was a solid movie for sure. Yeah.
So I have a new segment for us to go through today, and
Okay.
it's called "What Does That Even Mean?"
What do you mean? What do you mean?
What do you mean exactly? So today I want to just dive into what does it even mean when somebody says, "I don't have the spoons for that."
So you're talking the spoon theory.
Yes. So I did some research. What does that actually mean when someone says that to you? Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
So it says spoons represent your total daily energy, your mental, emotional, and physical output. You start your day with a limited amount and everything you do to use them up. Once they're gone, they're done for the day. No energy left, no more spoons left. The concept came from a girl named Christine Mascherano, who used spoons to explain chronic illness. It showed how quickly energy disappears when your body is under certain stresses.
I got Rin to come talk about it. As someone with chronic pain, can you give your example of what spoons are and what that's like?
Hello, Rin. How are you today?
Hi, good. How are you?
Good. So we were just talking about spoons and how they relate to chronic illness. And when someone says, "I don't have the spoons for that," what do they actually mean?
So, really, everyone has spoons, and what they mean by that is simply energy. But when you have something that limits the amount of energy or capacity you have, then you have a finite resource. So, if you start your day with 20 spoons, maybe by default, and each task that you do requires a certain amount of spoons. So every meal is 2 spoons. Brushing your teeth is a spoon. Work is probably like 5 spoons, and so, or more. And so you only have so many things that you can do. And maybe if you use tomorrow's spoons, right, you want to use 30 spoons, then tomorrow you're left with just 10. And then that means, yeah, you only have even like less to be able to work with.
Dakota explained it to me in a way that kind of made sense in that Dakota said that once you give away all your spoons, you're unable to feed yourself. So you have to keep spoons for yourself.
I mean, yes, you only have so much, and so if you end up using too much, then you're not able to get the rest of the things that you need done, and so then you need assistance with some of those things, and it can get as serious as not being able to feed yourself. But spoons, I think it can be used in so many different ways. Like, I know that there are people who are neurodivergent who have mental spoons, and it's you only have so much capacity for each encounter, and maybe this encounter requires more spoons, and so it's when you get to the end of your rope, yeah, you're pretty unable to do the things that you need to do. And so it's really just like being conscious of your energy and not giving too much of yourself, because then you won't be able to do the basic things that you're supposed to do as a
Yeah.
human, taking care
I
of
went to
yourself.
a retreat a couple weeks ago, and they said that, and I told them the theory behind the spoons, and they were like, you need to keep 30% of your spoons for yourself, just for your own mental health. That means you give 70% for everything else you do during the day, but then 30% you have for yourself to just take care of yourself, and that helps with your mental health awareness is what I got from that. Does that sound
I mean, I think that there's many reasons to keep things and energy for yourself. Most often when I hear the spoon theory, it is just about people's own ability to take care of themselves. And I'm sure
right?
that there's so much more that goes into that as people who are, parents or have different demands on them. But the first person I heard the spoon theory from is my friend who has been chronically disabled since she was a baby and has to take, I mean, at this point, like 10 different injections a day
Ugh,
and
that's
has
awful.
degenerative diseases and slowly losing her vision and just many very hard things. And so she's like a disabled adult. All of any of her energy is simply just to take care of herself, and that's with aides and friends and so much support.
And that's what, like, one of my things is that people just need to understand that every day you have the same amount of spoons that you had like the day before, unless you went into the negative yet the day before. So let's say you're really
Yes.
on top of it all. And then when you're out of spoons, you're out. It's like, I'm done. I don't have to do anything else. And that sounds a little selfish, but it's also true in keeping up to your personal strength.
And I think that's why it's important, maybe on your retreat, why they said things about keeping a reserve and maybe not like, 30% is for me and give everything else to other people because really you might need more than that to get through your day. But uh, keeping a reserve for yourself in case of emergency is very important. Being able to do the very basic things that you need to do, like pee before you go to bed or
Yeah.
something. But I think support systems are really important for helping, you know, in the gaps and the times that I can't, when my arms make me want to cry because they just hurt so much. And it's like, I can't
Yeah.
move a knife. So somebody please cook something.
Can you explain to us, Rin, what chronic illness you have so the people that also have this chronic illness may have a little more of an understanding of what spoons are, and possibly how many spoons have you already used today?
Well, I have fibromyalgia. And for me, that just involves being in pain every day of my life for about 10 years now. And with that comes perpetual exhaustion because every day is exhausting. It's exhaustive of my body. And so I wake up tired and feel like a 50% charged battery to begin with. And so, right, like the thing is that maybe most people have like 100 spoons. And so if they get a good night's sleep, then there's most people's issue who do not have limited spoons is time rather than capacity or energy, right? Like
Right.
people who have all of the energy, it's like, how much can I get done in 24 hours? Versus people who um
Who don't
it,
have that many spoons and can't
yeah,
get that stuff
you
done.
start with a limited amount. And so yes, yeah, every day is like maybe 20, 30, and so everyone else has 100. And so the amount that you can do with 100, you can't even get as many things done in 24 hours as the amount of energy that a normal person has, we could say. And yeah, so I start with less. And the thing is, if I want to go do any kind of event, concert, hounding, um hanging out with friends, shopping, going to an expo, really any fun thing that I want to do, I have to at least account for another day off. Like every single time I want to do something that is exhaustive of my energy, I need to at minimum be able to sleep in the next day to try to recuperate some of the spoons. And that's it. Yeah. So like
That was how I felt when I
the
was when I was fighting cancer. I would just wake up exhausted.
Yeah. And so you have to like plan ahead in those cases, being preemptive and being able to say, okay, well, I know I'm not going to be able to have the energy the next day. And it's because I know that I'm going to be taking from the next day's spoons. So maybe I can't wake up as early or not get as much sleep or have to do X amount of work. Maybe now I can only do 4 hours of work or no work, depending on, how like long I'm up or how much that takes on my body. It's a finite resource, and that means it's important, and you have to be mindful of what you do use your energy for.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that having like a support system that understands what I can do and can't do makes that very helpful. I can't imagine what it would be like if I didn't have people around me that at least were supportive. Maybe they don't understand in the way that other people in the spoon community do, there to support me in the ways that I can't for myself. But it is, yeah, very important because you'll just end up using the next days and the next days and the next days. And then it becomes so
You're doing in such a deficit all the time that you never get caught up.
it's not sustainable.
It's not.
It's not sustainable. So, yeah.
Thank you, Rin.
Yeah. Thank you.
Did that kind of answer the questions you had about the spoon theory? You think you have a better understanding of it?
I do. I still think that it's a very unique and interesting concept.
Yeah, I think it's definitely from the 21st century. It's not like an old theory or anything like that. But when
No.
you break it down into a way with someone who has chronic pain like Rin does, it kind of gives you a better understanding. Because I don't have chronic pain. I will, hopefully, knock on wood, never ever know what that's like to be constantly in pain the moment I wake up,
Yeah.
So when they explained the spoon theory to me, it really clicked for me on the things that they have to do just to be able to go grocery shopping or brush their teeth in the morning. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
And I said that to Rin, that that's how I felt the whole time I was fighting cancer for 2 years. Like
Yes.
the year I fought cancer and then the year following it, I felt like, and even before that, felt like I was just drained all the time. And it was because of the cancer running through my body.
Yeah. So the spoon theory, it's I enjoy it a lot. I like to talk about it. I like to educate people on it because it gave me a different point of view as someone who has never had chronic pain. In
Yeah.
that kind of aspect.
And I think that for somebody like Rin and like myself and like you who understand the full theory of, I don't have the spoons for that. I think that, but some people use it as an excuse like, oh, I just, like anything else.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. People people use the excuse for everything. You know what I mean? But I think those kind of people I don't need to be around.
Right.
Take my ex, for example. I'm not around her because she used it as an excuse a lot. And granted, she probably was in pain, but it was like she could never sweep the floor. And sweeping the floor to me seems like such an easy job. It was probably hard for her, but you still have to fucking adult at some point. You know what I
Right.
mean? Just
Yeah.
yeah. I'm trying not to sound like an asshole. I'm trying to be understanding. I don't have to deal with this fucking person anymore. I'm not angry at her at all. I swear.
I can tell.
I've come to peace with it. I like that segment. I can't wait to see what the next one is.
Yeah. What does that even mean? You get to pick next time. What does that even
Okay.
mean? What do the
does
spoons
it
mean?
even
I think
mean?
that it's really important for us to delve into some of these areas that are different because generationally you understand spoons, but that wasn't something that my generation dealt with. It was like you just kept on going regardless, regardless of your mental health, regardless of your physical health, any of that. You just kept pushing through.
I like that we're talking about it because we are able to bridge that gap in our generation just so that we're understanding each other a little bit better. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? Because I don't hold it against Rin anymore when they're like, I just don't have the fucking spoons to do that. I just can't. For a long time, I was like, what do you mean you can't do this? It's a simple task. They just can't, and I have to respect that. And it gives those kind of people autonomy over their own bodies that they don't necessarily get to have
a
all
lot
of the
of
time.
control over. Yep.
Correct. It's a way to give them autonomy, which is very important to a lot of people.
So in India, and what happened was wedding DJ played music in a property that was adjacent to a chicken farm. And because of the loud music that was produced, it killed 140 chickens. He musicked them to death.
Like the decibels?
Yeah.
Are the people okay?
The people were okay, but 140 chickens were not. 140. Can you imagine like it being such a hardcore, like low bass?
You said this is a wedding, right?
Yeah. But it was in
Okay.
India, and they have big, huge weddings in India.
Yeah.
They have those like 3 or 4 day long parties. This was a DJ at one of the weddings, and he killed 140 chickens in the neighbor's yard.
I kind of want to get that playlist just to see, but I don't want to kill
It's like-
animals.
Have you ever heard of the brown note?
Yeah, I know it from South Park, Mom.
Like, that is a real
It's
thing.
like South Park's 3rd or 4th episode. Is it? Is it though?
Is it? I don't know. Isn't
it?
it? Maybe that's what you should do. Is this real or not?
I'm gonna find it and shit my pants on air.
Oh, no. Please don't do that. That would be bad.
So I have a story that I wanted to share with you.
Okay.
So this beekeeper in Massachusetts, she went and released bees at a friend's apartment to keep the sheriff's deputies away from trying to evict her elderly friend with cancer
So she released a bunch of bees into the
apartment complex to try and stir away the sheriff's deputies from evicting a man with cancer.
Well, the thought process and the idea behind that is very noble.
Yeah. Vigilante justice, if you will.
Right. But that doesn't make it right.
No. And my problem with it is using bees. Bees are already in danger. They're already having a hard enough time. We need bees. If anybody doesn't believe that, I hope you don't like coffee, because without bees, we don't have coffee. So
Right.
suck a fuck if you're upset about the bees.
Suck a duck. Not that. Suck a duck.
You don't know that reference? That's from Donnie Darko. Tell me, Melody, how does one suck a fuck?
I've seen Johnny Darko, but I don't remember that scene in it.
Yeah, it's his sister. His sister says, "Oh, go suck a fuck," and then he's like, "Oh, tell me, how does one do that?"
Oh, because I've only ever heard suck a duck. Duck with a D. That's duck with a D.
Duck is in dog. If you
Huh?
can dodge a wrench, you... Huh?
Huh?
Huh? Yeah. So the beekeeper has been sentenced to 6 months in jail after she set swarms of her insects on sheriff's deputies attempting to carry out
6 months, huh?
6 months to carry out an eviction on a friend's house. Rebecca
it worth
Woods.
it?
I don't know yet.
The person got evicted anyway, it sounds like.
I haven't finished reading the story yet.
Oh.
Rebecca Woods insisted she only released her truckload of hives to allow bees to enjoy the lovely flowering landscape near the home of an elderly friend and cancer patient. But a district court in Springfield, Massachusetts heard that Woods, 59, admitted under questioning that she was trying to save him from eviction by freeing the bees in the presence of the deputies who had shown up to serve papers. Several officers were stung on their hands, face, and one required hospital treatment, according to the New York Times. Which is the tree hugger aspect of me is upset because those bees only get one chance to sting and then they die. So however many
She must
stung
not
in
been
on...
a real live bee lover if she was releasing them to die. But you have to admit, as a show of, I don't know what the word is, as a show of solidarity towards her friend who has cancer, it was nice, thought out. Horrible execution. You shouldn't have executed that at all.
So the friend still did get evicted.
See? You got to think about, is this really going to be what? Is the outcome
Is this really what
gonna
you
be?
want? This is one of those times where she acted before she thought. She had a thought, did the action, and she did not fully think through the actions that she was doing.
Right.
It was a moment of passion, I guess you could say.
A moment of passion. It's just a moment of passion.
But yeah, so don't release bees. Keep them safe. I need them. I like my coffee. I like my
love
beer.
my coffee.
They help hops grow. And they help, yeah.
How you
Bees are
doing,
very
by the way?
important.
Can I bring this up on the podcast? How you doing?
What do you mean?
with the semaglutide? You can cut it out if you want to.
Oh, I'm doing great. I started at 258, and last week when I weighed myself, I'll weigh myself tomorrow, I was at 226.
Good job.
So
That's awesome.
yeah,
That's
little
how
by
much
little.
weight? 30 pounds?
30-ish pounds, yeah.
That's incredible, Coda.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I've
none of my
lost-
clothes fit.
I've lost just shy of 80 pounds.
Nice. That's awesome. That's
So
way
I can't
cool.
decide if I go to 100 or if I stop now because I'm afraid that if I go to 100, I'll look like a skeleton.
Or, I mean, if you get to 100 and you don't like the way you look, just eat a little bit more in moderation.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a movie we're going to have to see like in theaters this summer. He-Man. Like you go see it in theaters and then I'll take your dad to see it in theaters and then
Okay.
we'll do a review on it.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Is he so excited?
You know your dad. He doesn't get excited like other people get excited.
When I sent him that video, I was so excited for him because wasn't that his shit as a kid? Wasn't he
Yeah.
a He-Man freak?
Mm-hmm.
Like, doesn't Grandma have a picture of him in his tighty whities with the He-Man sword somewhere?
I don't know. Maybe.
I think I've seen a picture like that of him
Yeah.
somewhere.
Usually it was fishing or hunting that got him when he was little, but yeah, He-Man was a close second or third in there.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So I was excited when they showed it off, and they got Jared Leto playing Skeletor.
Oh,
And
really? He's such a good actor.
He is, and he's so methodical, and it just like when he was playing the Joker during the Suicide Squad movies, he made a lot of people uncomfortable because he just stays in character. Like he just when he is filming a movie, that is who he is. He is in that character 24/7. So I can't wait to see how he did Skeletor. Because like I think a Skeletor now is like the funny memes and whatnot, and not the crazy villain he was in the He-Man series. So I am excited about it, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's when we'll have to go out and see, and we'll have to get a bunch of our chatterheads in there seeing what they think about it and stuff. So,
yep. Before we close out, Mom has come up with this fantastic idea. We're going to try to put out a couple more episodes in the month. There will be 2 extra episodes. There'll be solo episodes. I don't know what we're going to call them yet. Curbside chatter. We haven't decided yet. But it'll just be one of us going over a topic. Mom has her topic that she wants to talk about. She's working on it very hard. So look out to that in the future of just more chatter coming your way, guys.
yeah. So that's one thing that we've been asked is more.
All right, Mama. Take
All
us
right.
away.
Well, it was a great day today. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and all of the stuff. Check us out at currentchatterpodcast.com. And remember that if you have something that you want us to cover, a movie, a book, anything like that, let us know in the comment section. And maybe we will pick your idea. And if we do pick your idea, we will shout you out on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So don't forget to drink your water and talk to your therapists and have a good weekend, I guess. It's Mother's Day weekend. Don't forget to call your mother.
Don't look at me like that. I'll call you.
So have a wonderful weekend, everybody, and chat next week.
Bye-bye.
That's a little odd, Dakota. You need to talk to your therapist about this. It doesn't seem healthy at all.
That is one of